Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Tattoo Pedge.
You got me? I'm just like playing stupid. I'm like, I ain't got anybody. You made this mess by hanging out with this schmuck in the first place. And I'm telling him, don't mess with these guys. Take a slap. Whatever it's gonna happen is gonna happen. This guy's asking me, what are you telling him? I'm like, to just shut the hell up and roll over, you know? He
Yeah,
goes, he goes to like talk. I'm not gonna say who struck who, but the Italian side kind of like pistol whipped this motherfucker. Like, and this guy went down like a sack of shit. Literally, like you seen him lean against the car. And I go, that's the guy. So these other, 4 or 5 guys run in the middle of the street, stop the car, yank him out the car, start bitch slapping him. And I don't care about that guy because he's a schmuck. But this guy, I feel bad. He's going, why'd you let him hit me in Serbian, this and that? I was like, what do you want me to do? I go, I know these guys and I know you. You're not blood with me. I'm not blood with them, but I do work with them. You ain't
yeah,
never put a piece of work in front of me. I said, and plus you like bad mouthing me and everything. I said, take your lumps, man. Everybody gets their lumps eventually. I've gotten beaten. I'm not like invincible. I got jumped by 30 guys. So, and whatever. He gets up. Oh, I'm never gonna forget this. That was the worst week. He gets Alex Rudai involved. Now, I don't know,
oh,
you've heard about Alex Rudai.
of course.
Okay. So he gets Alex Rudai involved. And, you know, this guy, the Romanian guy, he's part owner in a Romanian social club, hence where those CDs are. I would go there. So I would make these CDs free of charge, put like 22 songs on them. Instead of having like one crappy 10-song CD, I would make these songs and I'd give it to them. And I tell them, as long as I come in here, you give me the occasional free round or whatever, I'll keep making CDs for you. So that's how that happened. And when Alex Rudai came, I happened to be there, and this idiot Montenegrin, what an ass kiss this guy was. This guy kisses Alex Rudai's ass, and I tell him, I said, "You're not Albanian. Why are you kissing an Albanian's ass?" I said, "You're like one of mine." No, I'm Montenegrin first. I'm like, well then f you. I go to walk away, hand on the shoulder, one of Alex's guys. It's like, get your hand off my shoulder. Now I'm going for my piece, and I'm like, yo, it's gonna go down. And I heard of Alex Rudai, never met him. But when you're cocky, you're cocky. End of story. If I could talk to John Gotti, I could talk to this guy. I don't care. So he's talking to me in Serbian. I need to know who hit so and so. I said, why are you asking me? Because you were here. You were the cause of it. I go, I was the cause of it? I was like, let me tell you something. Get your story straight. Second, you're talking to Alexa, this piece of crap. I said, he'll sell out his own mother for a dollar. I said, he's a sellout. And I go, he's a piece of crap because he comes to the Serbian club and acts like a Serbian, and 5 minutes later he's kissing your ass. I said, I'm done with that. He goes, listen, relax, relax. You know who you're talking to, right? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna relax. Get your hands off me. End the story. I said, you want to get this squared off? You go see Bobby Glasses. He goes, who's Bobby Glasses? Who? Like in front of everybody, like. And I said, let me tell you something. Go to Bobby Glasses. I gave him the address. I said, that's where you're going to have a sit down. Of course, he did go and have a sit down, but he went 20 deep. Okay, he went 20 deep. This was the story. Yeah, Bobby was like, he was just like right while he was sitting in the cafe, he was just like making the faces to everybody, like round up the whole, the guys, like so. When those 20 came out, because Ruda had a reputation, 20 guys is basically his crew. He never had 50, 60, 100 guys, 20, 30 guys.
And
So
this
with
was
those 20,
before
30,
you met Bobby Glasses, right?
none. Well, no, this was I already knew Bobby Glasses. That's why I'm going to get back to the meeting
Yeah,
Bobby
yeah.
Glasses. So this, this whole incident, it ended up getting squashed. Okay, this Romanian guy paid another Gambino guy to get him out of this problem. Paid like 40, 50 grand. What a dumbass. Okay, because they didn't even stand up for him. They took his money, the punk that he is, and it is what it is. I had to go back and get my CDs. Bobby asked me, "Can you go and get my CD?" Yeah, I can get them for you. I called him and I said, "Hey, I need my CDs back, because of what Pete did and all of that crap. Come back at the end of the week." I said, "Oh, no, no, no. By the end of tonight, you're gonna take them out." But we got customers. I don't care. Bobby said take them out. Well, screw Bobby. I'll tell him you said that. I said, called up Bobby. I said, they said screw you. That same night, 3 cars showed up. They pulled out hammers, bricks, because it was all plate glass, windows all around that social club. All you heard was they were just throwing rocks and hammers and bricks and whatever. And everybody, patrons and all, went down. It was done, shut down. So they had to board the place up. And then I had to call the guy up again and said, I need my CDs. It's like, Bobby put an order. Your place is going to go up again. Like this time, it ain't going to be, bricks and hammers and whatnot, So when I went to go meet Bobby that time, it was, I'm trying to give you a year. Had to be 98. Yeah, 98. I had my bar. I opened up a bar on Fresh Pond Road. And that was another miracle, opening up a bar in an complete Italian owned neighborhood. Fresh Pond Road was like Little Italy. It was nobody non-Italian can have anything. Okay. So I got that. And Vito used to come to my bar all the time, wish me luck, have a cognac, throw 100 on the table, keep the change to the waitress, I had like a little lounge. It was a phenomenal bar to have in the middle of all these Irish pubs and little social clubs. It was like Mexican tile on the floor. I had curtains. I had like crazy stucco on the walls with sparkles. I had fluorescent lights. It was dope, man. It didn't belong in that neighborhood. It belonged to the city somewhere. Yeah. And I got that with Bonanno approval, with Bonanno protection. I mean, I went all bells and whistles on this place. You know what I mean? So nobody could screw with me, and that was it. So Vito would come and show respect. Vito was, of course, Gambino, but everybody had a nice little clique in the neighborhood. Bonannos, Genovese, Lucchese's, everybody, And Vito told me one day, come by the cafe. So I was like, okay, why? He goes, we can make some moves. We could do something. I got a little piece of work for you. I was like, okay. He was trying to expand and try to do his own, machines and whatnot. So I was like, okay. And it was also, he wanted to ask me, there was a guy who was kind of like, he had a master key to the Joker Poker machines. And he was a Russian dude. And he was kind of like infiltrating his spots. And he goes, he's kind of like going in and stealing our money. I need to find out who it is. What a small world this is, because that guy, that Russian, is now my girlfriend that I'm dating now, her godfather. Yeah. What a small world. And we literally met. He knows of me and he from the neighborhood. But when he came to Florida, like about 2 years ago, he starts telling me the story, and we're smoking cigars, and he's like, hey, I had the key. And I'm like, you're that Russian guy? He goes, yeah, why? I go, all I heard was it was a Russian Jew out of Brooklyn. He goes, that was me. I had the master key and bop, bop, bop. I said, were you dealing with fucking the Japanese dude? We called him the Japanese dude because he had like chink eyes, Yeah. He was the Russian mobster at the time, Ivanko, out of Rasputin in Little Odessa in Brooklyn. And I was like, you were running with him? He's like, yeah, he told me to go up there and take the spots over. I was like, you lucky you didn't. He goes, what do you mean? I go, those were my spots from my guy, like protected. He was getting pissed. He wanted to find out who you were. I was like put on you for a while. He was like, are you crazy? For real? I was like, yeah, I was looking for you. I was going around and, in Brooklyn, like, Gravesend, Brooklyn, looking for you, He was just like, oh my God. He's like, what a small world. This is what I'm talking about, my life, how my life intermingles. And I've been blessed. I've met a lot of famous people. To me, they're famous. And I've met like movie stars in the United States and in Serbian, like movie stars. I had a famous guy walk into my bar. This guy would never walk into my bar. And he's done 25, major motion pictures in Serbia. He's even done stuff here in the United States. His name is Sergei Trifunovic. He walked in my bar and I already knew who he was. And I was just like, he don't belong here. This is a neighborhood bar. This is not the city. I walked up to him. I was like, you're Sergey. He goes, yeah. First words out of his mouth was, who you running? Because I had the gold chain, the big Serbian eagle around my neck. So when he says that in Serbian, it's Kim Sabavic. Who you with? So I was like, I'm kind of with the Italians. He goes, I could tell. He goes, well, I'm kind of with so-and-so. He goes, ain't you Bosco's kid? Like, meaning like Bosco, I was under his wing. And he's now in Belgrade running casinos and doing his little gangster shit. So I was like, yeah. He goes, you go back home, here and there. I was like, I did, but I haven't been back in a bit. But Bosco's telling me I should come back. I go, but I got this bar now. I can't really do anything. And he's like, yo, you're doing good, man. He goes, I heard of you in Belgrade. I said, come on. I go, a little neighborhood bar. You heard about me in Belgrade. He goes, for real. He goes, all the gangsters who know who you are, and Bosco's blowing you up. You know, you're the guy. He goes, so I knew when I came to New York, first place I wanted to come to a real Serbian place. I go, no, if you want to go to a real Serbian place, you go to the Serbian club. He goes, that's bullshit. He goes, that's politics. He goes, this is the real deal. He goes, you ain't got no Albanians in here. I said, oh no, they're banned. They can't come in. It's a private club. He goes, what do you mean it's private? I go, it's private. I had security at the door looking at IDs, and if one name didn't sound Serbian, they'd call me on the walkie-talkie, and I'd run over. Can I help you? Right off the name, and I could tell by the face, and I'd be like, "Yeah, you got sneakers on. You need to get shoes." They got slick. They started going home, putting on shoes, and coming back. And I'm going, "Oh, you know what? Tonight it's black only. It's not like suede shoes or whatever. It's got to be like black laced up or whatever. Or you got jeans on. I make every excuse in the world, bro.
Changing up the rules and shit.
Yeah, like I'd get the ID and I'd see the guy's name is Mersad, and I'd be like, "Oh, Mersad, I'm sorry, but tonight is a private party." Like it got to the point where I couldn't put Americans to work my door because they didn't know who's Albanian, who's Muslim, who's Serbian. So I'd be like, here's what I do. Friday nights would be pure Serbian. Saturdays I'd let people that I'd feel them out. Like they come in, I'd be like, yo, if you start shit, you're gonna pull out your Albanian eagle, you're gonna start flashing the, this thing. That ain't flying with me, bro. I was like, I've seen some shit back home in Bosnia. I ain't scared of dying, bro. That's not gonna happen. And I had a reputation, so. But
you have any situations happen in the bar?
Oh my god, dude! I caught a wrought iron chair across my back over a freaking arm wrestling thing. This kid, he's a troublemaker. This kid Nicky, he had to run back home because he put some guy in a coma. Stupid kid, bro. He'd get a couple of drinks in him. I want to arm wrestle. I want to arm wrestle. So he arm wrestled this guy Rocky. His name was Rocky because he was fast as a rocket. So in Serbian, Rocky, So yeah, this kid put him down 3 times, $100 a pop. This kid couldn't take no for an answer. One more time. So he goes and he sucker punches him. I just heard like that. I turn around. This kid's already got a straight blade out. Straight blade, like old school. Pulls it out. Wow, this and that. I'm looking. This guy, Rocky, he's just like, what the hell, this and that, and before I could see, people were moving all around this kid. I need to get this kid out. I don't need this kid getting beaten in my place or cut or stabbed or shot or anything. I get him outside. I said, get the hell out of here. These guys, that's when I got hit with the wrought iron chair because I was, I guess, stopping it. Boom. When I took a hit, I buckled to my knees, man. I fell on the floor. I turn around. I see it coming again. My bouncer, Sammy, this kid, he was in prison for attempted murder, put this guy in a serious coma. The guy woke up a year and a half later. They had him on attempted murder. And, it was bad. It was just a bad thing. He was out in Vegas. So they kind of gave him to me. Like they introduced me to him and said, he's one of us, like he's a friend of ours. Can you give him some work? And I said, yeah. They gave him the apartment on top of my bar, the Bonanno guy. And so Sammy was working for me and living, above them, doing stuff for the family,
so
running around, whatever it is.
He could watch the place when he's.
Yeah. So I was paying him like 150 in the beginning, Then he started getting cocky. I want 2 beans. You're paying this other guy 2 beans. I said, the other guy's a professional boxer. I said, and he's Serbian. He's like almost 7 feet tall, bro. He's like 360 pounds. He's a moose of a guy. I go, and he's got a reputation. I said, what's your reputation? That you almost killed a guy in Vegas? I go, what did he do? Like, I almost killed a lot of guys yesterday.
You making a lot of money at this bar?
Be honest, I don't want to get tax people involved on me, but shit, yeah. I was making, for a neighborhood bar, they were getting pissed because the owner that owned the building came to me and he goes, Pedge, I don't know what it is. You got a golden Midas touch, but he goes, when I had the bar, I've never seen this bar this packed. He goes, the capacity is 125. You got to have 200 people in here like sardines.
Yeah, because you're a popular guy. Everyone wants to be around. They're the whole
Well, you know what it was? I had an idea, and in my head, when I manifest something in my head, I make it happen regardless. I make it happen because I have to. You understand? Mm-hmm. So I had in my head an idea. I've been going to all these other social clubs and bars. I don't like this. I don't like that. What am I going to do to change it? So I said, Fridays, I'm going to bring in rock and roll music and whatever, modern Serbian music. Saturdays, I bring in the folk music. They bring in the older people, they could break a few glasses and, kick back. And then I would bring like Thursdays or every other Friday a DJ, and I would mix it Serbian, American. I mean, we were playing techno. We were playing. I mean, I had guys coming in. They were high on X, and they were like with the freaking with those
Glow
what do you call those
sticks.
glow sticks and
Yeah.
shit. I mean, they would sit in the corner going like this, oh, you know,
Yeah.
just rubbing themselves. I'd be like, what the? I didn't even know at the time. I was like, what are they on? They're like, oh, they're on X. And I'm like, what? Then I had neighborhood kids that were like 17, 18. I'd let them come in because I was going out to bars at 16. You know, it is what it is. And I had the police in my pocket. They just knew because it was a Bonanno spot, they'd give me the heads up. So I remember one time cop came in front of my bar and was like, whoop, whoop. And I came out, got introduced to him. He goes, I'm gonna be watching your spot. I'm like, all right. So sure enough, I hear whoop whoop. So I run outside and I see him and he just goes like this to me. So I was like, okay. I get all the kids that I can out. I put them in the backyard. I had a huge backyard with the olive trees in the back, you know, olive trees and fig trees. So I would be like, put them in the backs, stick them in the basement. All of a sudden, ABC comes in, Alcohol Bureau Control. They come running in. They have all these zip ties on them, and you know. And I'm like, okay, can I help you? They start IDing everybody. I did. Where's your license? Where's this? Where's that? Who's this guy? I'm like, well, I'm the manager. I can't say I'm the owner. I go, I'm the manager. What's your name? I pull out my driver's license. I go, look, everything's, well, your choking thing isn't right. And where's your resuscitate? I'm like, nobody told me about no resuscitation.
Some
I go, if I
stupid
need that, I'll
shit,
bring
right?
it. I said, I got the
Yeah.
CPR thing. That's all you need to have up there. He goes, yeah, who's the guy in control here? Me or you? And I'm like, all right, whatever. They didn't like it because they were going on a mission that night to bust underage drinkers. I got away with it, you know? So, of course, I take care of those guys. You know, they come in my bar, they drink for free all the time. These guys ended up being my buds to the point that the one guy, he was half Croatian, so he kind of spoke my language. So he'd come in my bar and we'd be getting drunk, and I go, hey, you know how back home we shoot? He goes, yeah, you want to shoot mine? He pulls out his off-duty, you know, gun. And I'm like, no, I got mine. I go behind the bar and I pull out my Beretta, and I'm like, yo, you know. So sure enough, like we're sitting in there. It's like 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, fuck, it's my bar. I start shooting in the wall. He shoots in the wall. It was insane, insane.
That's
You know, I
nuts,
mean,
man.
I've had listen. I've got so many stories. If I were ever to write just one book, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do like an 800-900 page book. I don't want to be boring, but I've got so much, you know,
You have to
juice.
do different shit,
Yeah,
different
I'm gonna have
books.
to
Do
like the
a
way
do a
Punch did
series
his.
of books.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the way Punch did his Stealing Manhattan. Now he wants to do. I don't know if he wants to change the title, if he wants to do Stealing Manhattan 2 or Still Stealing Manhattan. You know, because there's a. I read the book. That book is missing a lot of stuff. Like, not because I want to be thrown in the book, but when I read that book, it was like, oh shit, that's Sava. Oh shit, that's Yovo. He worked for me. Oh, that's this guy. Oh, that's the guy that cut this dude's ear off. I was there. Like when me and him start talking, all those stories, I guess because he didn't have anybody to like vouch and vindicate those stories. And then when I did my I did an interview where it was the Serbian mob. I want to put the Serbs on the map. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
um he heard that interview. He was like, "Oh my God, where were you before I started writing this book?" Because he wants to put the Serbs on the map too. Because I got tired of like, you know, getting crapped on. You know, like, oh, you Serbs were never big. And I said it before. I'm gonna say it on your show as well. The Lufthansa heist was a joke. It was like a gumball machine where you put 25 cents in, and you get one gumball. What Punch did? Him and his old man. Yo, that one story about where he left the 17 million in cash behind because he didn't know, and he robbed whatever, like 11 million in diamonds. Just that alone, 11 million in diamonds. Come on. Now that's a
It's
score.
one
That's one.
story,
That's one story.
and there's tons of them.
And we're just talking about what his old man did with his crew and what Punch did when he was running under his old man and running on his own. It's insane what he did. Okay. And I've heard a lot of these stories, rumors, like sitting in the cafes and the social clubs, and I hear, hey, you heard what the Pink Panthers did? Now I know who's the head of the Pink Panthers. I know who the crew is. We all ran in these circles. So when I talk to Punch and I drop a name and Punch goes, oh my God, I almost forgot about him. You knew him? I was like, I worked for him. I go, he gave me some shoddy BS job where I just showed up for 2 hours and I was getting paid 1,000 a day as a asbestos supervisor. You know, it was like we knew the same people. Don't get me wrong. To know, let's say the population of Serbs 50,000 in New York, the tri-state area, maybe max, maybe. Let's say 25 on the safe end. And I knew everybody and anybody who was anybody and everybody. Okay. So it's kind of crazy that we ran in that little circle, but yeah, it's insane. And then Punch goes, yeah, I remember coming to your bar. Yovo, the bouncer, brought me there right when I got out in 99. I said, that's when I got rid of the place, right around 99, like 2000. I was shut down. I was just like, I'm done with this. Like, I couldn't deal with, sitting in the bar at 4 in the morning and then keeping it open for another 4 hours because in New York it's like after hours, from 4 to
Yeah.
whatever. I couldn't deal with it. Couldn't go to the gym, couldn't work out, and then I had to go home, get 3-4 hours of sleep. Sometimes I'd sleep in the basement of the place, just wash my face in the sink, go around the corner, take a shower by my mom's house, come back, and reopen the bar. It just got monotonous, and I had to deal with my people. My people are like the biggest. I love being who I am. I love being Serbian and whatnot, but it's your own people that kind of like put a knife in your back. I got tired of the backstabbing, tired of the cops being called on me, tired of the setups. Like I knew when the cops came in and went straight to the bathroom, they're looking for coke. I'm like,
Sure.
you ain't gonna find coke here. They're like, what are you talking about? I go, yo, first off, it's Bonanno. This guy doesn't want anything coming out of here without his permission. And he told me nothing's gonna be in that direction coming from here because he got locked up back in the day with the Pizza Connection thing. So, you know what I mean? Like he did his time, hit his money. He just didn't want to, deal with that kind of stuff anymore. He didn't want to bring heat. He was legit, legit, had businesses.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Um, I have a lot of people that are younger than me, 10, 15 years, and came to my bar. They were just like 17 at the time or whatever. And they were telling me, like, for real, they were just like, yo, that was the best place. But our people couldn't respect it. I was like, no, because our people are scumbags. That's it. They're jealous. They come and tell you how you should run your business. Like, dude, come up with some scratch to buy a bar like me first. To maintain it, you need like 6-7 grand every month. I was like, and to come out on the good end, it's impossible. So, I mean, it is what it is. They would say stuff behind my back, but never to my face. And I'd go to Serbian club, and I know that who was calling because on the printout sheet from the 104th precinct, it was nothing but that number from the Serbian club. That and my competitors. Like I had a couple of social clubs in the area. I was for 6 months. I literally shut down the neighborhood, and I'm proud to say that because I would go to another bar and you'd hear crickets, dead. Nobody from the age of 17 to 31 was in any of those social clubs. Where were they? My bar. I was the new place, the hip place. Everybody wanted to be seen in my place, even outside to get turned down. Oh, please let me in. No. Like it was what it was. So,
Yeah.
and I got pictures. Like I said, I've got pictures. So if anybody wants to like sit there and say I'm lying, I got pictures where my bar was packed. It was like this. And I had to go through these people to get to the front, to get to the back, because I was multitasking. I was making sure the front was taken care of. I was making sure people were getting free drinks. And that was one thing I blessed everybody. I never did, oh, just keep paying and once in a while I'll throw you a free drink. Every fourth round was on the house, nonstop. And I don't care if they were drinking Henny, Remy, whatever they were drinking. If you're drinking that all night, you're going to get, and I told the waitresses and everything, make sure every fourth one, you give them free. That's it. Then I would bring food in. I'd cater food. I'd let them eat. Dude, I did a good thing. Like I said, I had that mentality. I knew what I wanted to do, and I made it happen. I manifested it. I
That's it.
manifested everything in my life. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did some bad manifestations,